Hi, this is the Institutional Research Board, or IRB, assignment sheet. First of all, the objective you have here is to understand ethical and legal issues as they apply to participation in research. Before you really get started on research, you need to be aware of the ethical and legal issues that surround that. We need to think about what we're doing with students and if there's any chance of harm to anybody. There are requirements if you're doing any sort of research. Even if there's not a risk of harm, there are still procedures that you need to follow. So I just want you to be aware of some of the history there and why we need to be aware of this. And I'd like you to know what the steps are if you did want to someday do research or carry out this proposal that you'll complete in this course. I'd like you to be able to know how to navigate the IRB and what paperwork you need to do and what you need to consider. So first of all, I'm going to ask you to go to LSSU's IRB website. It's really nice. I think they did a nice job with this. When you go on there, you're going to find a PowerPoint. There's two versions of the PowerPoint. One is a PDF and one is an actual PowerPoint. They're both the same PowerPoint, so it's just whatever format you're more comfortable with. But the PowerPoint does a nice job of giving the history. There are some cases in there where maybe practitioners did not follow ethical standards, and you can see there's some pretty clear damage that was done to people. So it gives a little bit of background about why we have the law that we have and why we have the IRB. There's also a Fakebook student handout. I'd like you to look at that. They did a nice job. It's pretty interesting. It's supposed to look like Facebook. It has some FAQs on there. It has some nice links, good resources. It's just a nice, easy way to get an overview. I'd also like you to look at the submission form for the IRB. There's two versions of this form, and they're both the same form. One is a PDF and one is a Word document. So again, whichever method you prefer to look at, you can look at either one. But look at the submission form and just get an idea of what you would need to complete if you were to actually perform research and need the IRB's blessing. I'd also like you to review the APA IRB tab. This APA tab especially is going to be helpful to you as you move on through the assignments. They have really good links to APA resources. Depending on what you already know or what you find interesting, you might spend a lot of time in this tab. You might just click around a little bit. It's really up to you. I just want you to be aware that it exists and know some of the things that are on there. So maybe a couple weeks from now you have a question and you remember seeing that link and you can go back and look at it. I'd also like you to complete the city training module. You're not going to do the whole module. There is a very lengthy module that you can complete and you can get certification that would allow you then to go and start doing some more research. We're not going to go that far in this class. I'm just going to have you do two portions of that module, and it's free. Ignore all the little warnings they throw up saying you have to pay money if you want to print out and certification and all this stuff. You're not going for certification. You're just getting some background information, so you can register for free. You can complete those modules for free. Just follow the step-by-step directions on the handout, and that should walk you through, and you'll be able to complete that pretty easily. When you're done with that, you're going to write a summary about what you've learned. So think about the main points and think about how is this going to impact you when you do get ready to start planning your research. What are you going to keep in mind as you move forward? I'm going to move down to the rubric. Again, here we go with the summary. I always like concise. I like clear and concise quite a bit. Don't feel like you need to make something longer. Something that's long and wordy is not better than something that's nice and concise in my book. I don't necessarily take points off for that, but keep it as clear as you can. So think about the IRB, think about the human subject research, and just give me a little summary of the main points, the main things that we need to know about. Then I'd like you to look at implications. This might be a little bit difficult for you at this point because you probably don't even have a research question yet. You really haven't gone very far. So just think in general. When you're thinking about the portions of IRB and human subject research, what is important about that you need to keep in mind when you do get to the point of methodology? So some of the confidentiality things, just some of the chance of doing harm. You might think about, if you remember from your undergrad, the brown-eyed, blue-eyed experiment that the classroom teacher did, where the brown-eyed people were better than the blue-eyed and vice versa. Something like that today probably would not pass an IRB board because it could cause harm. So just think about what implications would this have when I do get ready to do my methodology and my research. So you might not have specifics here, but you can give me kind of a general idea. And then, of course, formatting and grammar. We're going to be doing quite a bit of writing in this class, and APA is the style that I prefer, so you want to make sure you're following the APA guidelines, have your paper typed. I'm guessing everybody's going to be emailing it, so you probably don't have to worry about this submitting paper copies, but it's there just in case. On my rubrics, the number at the top, that will go all the way down unless there's another number here. You can see the 20 points, this is 20 points, this is 20 points, and then it changes to 10, so this is worth 10. So if you fill all these requirements, it's 50 points. What I'd like you to do with every single assignment is I'd like you to submit a rubric with your work. So you're just going to cut and paste here. So if you highlight it and copy it and then paste it to the end of your paper, then you can go ahead and do the copy. You can do your rating. In order to rate where you are, I would like you to highlight the portion that you think fits you. So if your summary was clear, you only included important information, you did cover IRBs and human subject research, highlight that, click bold, and that's your rating for yourself. When I come through and I look at it, I'm going to grade it and say, oh, yep, I agree, you did all this, I'll highlight and click underline. And then that way we can see if we agree or not. If I'm looking at it and I see that you said, yes, I did all of these, but I'm seeing that there's some information missing, maybe you didn't cover the IRBs, you just cover the human subject, then what I would do is I'm going to highlight, I'm going to underline here, and then I'd probably write some notes down here just saying I didn't see the IRB. And I'll just say some note of why that changed and why I gave you a different number of points than you gave yourself. So if there's ever any disagreement about that, of course, give me a call and I can explain it further, and maybe I made a mistake, maybe you missed something, but we can talk about that. So copy and paste this chart onto the end of your work and make sure you rate yourself, and then I'll rate how you did based on the rubric and submit it back to you with notes. If you have any questions, please let me know.